Spaceship Looter is a fairly straightforward bullet hell roguelike game. Released May 17, 2017 from Steam Early Access by Luxorix Games. According to their site, this is their second game. I've had Spaceship Looter since Early Access, and it's definitely improved since my first playthrough. You start off in a bar where once you use a warp pad, you're taken to a derelict ship with lots of enemies. You move from room to room, and once in the room, the doors lock and enemies spawn. You must first defeat all enemies in the room before the doors will unlock. One thing I think the game does very well are the various objects in the room. Some cargo boxes provide one-hit cover unless you carelessly walk into them, while others are a more permanent fixture and can eat a few hits. There are even some containers that when thrown, they explode and flood the room with bullets that hurt you, but also the enemies. Truly, the room layouts are interesting and can be tackled in multiple ways. Maybe you're a player who uses the hazards more than your gun to save ammo. The rooms turn into a bullet hell, and each enemy has their own kind of shot. The enemy variety here is quite good. Some of the enemies are just different colors, but the shots and powers they have vary widely. It provides a nice mix of action for each room. It also makes it obvious when the game gets more difficult further in the run, as the more difficult enemies are easy to spot. All of the red orbs on the screen are very clear to see, and the green orbs are the ones that hurt both you and the enemy. Any of the bullets I ran into were obviously my fault. There are also slime pits, and they stick out against the darker floor tiles. You need to be careful and use cover as to not take on too many enemies at once. Even beyond this, Spaceship Looter has you find keys to open lockboxes. They contain new guns, one-time use items, and run permanent upgrades. The items and upgrades are basic improvements, but the vast array of guns has everything from your standard assault rifle, a freeze gun, to a ricochet gun. They're well balanced too. The more powerful guns use more ammo and fire slower. You'll be able to find something suitable for your playstyle. So far, I've unlocked 2 characters, each with their own secondary attack. The main character has a grenade, and the other has a turret. There is a shop during the run to upgrade only this secondary weapon with the square currency you collect from dead enemies. Phew, there sure are a lot of systems in this game. Of course you hear roguelike and expect a few gameplay elements. Yes, the ships are randomly generated each time. Yes, everything resets when you die. There is one diamond-shaped currency that extends past your death. With this, you can either choose to spend it to resurrect and continue your run, or buy items in the shop before your next run. I think this currency doesn't really drop enough though. I definitely didn't get enough to resurrect on the first run, and I believe it took me 2 or 3 runs before I had enough to buy 2 extra starting hit points. I initially thought the purchased upgrades were going to be permanent, but they only last the 1 run. This could be taken 2 ways. One is that the game is really hard and you just need to get better. Or 2, a missed opportunity to make the game actually beatable. By the way, I'm playing on very easy. I don't think the currency is enough to make me want to keep playing. I'm a fan of roguelike games and death doesn't bother me. What I do have a problem with is when games equate being difficult with being stingy about upgrades between runs. I've defeated the first boss and I don't have a strong urge to keep playing. For me, even with all the positives I listed about the game, I still don't feel the progression. However, this is completely the opposite feeling I get for Endless Mode. You will need to find all of the collectibles before Endless Mode becomes unlocked, but wow. This is the part of the game I'm really enjoying. You're locked in one room, and waves of enemies spawn over and over. There are a bunch of keys thrown in and locked boxes, so you can get a decent random head start. This takes all of the mechanics I enjoy about the normal game and gives me the head start I want. I don't feel the same discouragement from dying because it's a unique experience every time. And the progress I'm achieving is obvious, based on my score. My pet opinion of Spaceship Looter is that it tries to combine a lot of systems in the roguelike portion of the game and doesn't provide the kind of progression I'm looking for. If this doesn't bother you, then I think Spaceship Looter might be a game you're interested in. For me, with the shop removed and the random start, endless mode is much better. Thanks for watching.